Welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral. It is December still. And, you know, December, we're getting closer to Christmas, which is my favorite holiday. And strange things happen when you have a collection like this and you're constantly sitting here in a chair. I'm usually in the other room, reading books and reading histories, and all sorts of interesting things go on in life and in my wicked little mind. But I was looking at some books that I had put away some time ago by Gerald Brom. Gerald Brom is an artist. He's been a renowned artist for many decades, and some years back he became a novelist as well, illustrating his own books. He was born in 1965, and he has a very talented wife named Lori, who is also an acclaimed artist. And that's all I know about him. I know nothing else about Gerald Brom. And so I have 4 of his books, and we'll just take a quick look at them. Gerald Brom, let's take a look at Lost God. He illustrates his own books, so let's take a look at Lost Gods. Take a look at that cover, which will be over here, if I do this right. And Lost Gods is not the first one I've read, but it is 2016 I've had this. So he is a novelist as well as an artist. His artwork is of the dark, edgy kind, uniquely his own in many ways. And in this particular book, he takes on ancient gods, and it's really an interesting setup in this book. The Chip Moran is fresh out of jail. He's murdered, and he's taken to the underworld, and he begins to learn that his wife and unborn child are in severe danger, so he has to go on a quest for a key. So this book is a traditional quest. Reminded me of any type of quest book going back to the Iliad or the Odyssey. Modern quest novels are a dime a dozen, but this is much different. It's a very long book. It has these illustrations that I've shown you. And how many pages is this baby? I don't know if it's available in paperback. This is just shy of 500 pages. Now, Brom is a good writer. I want to get that up front. He is a very strong writer. He is a masculine writer. He is a very strong painter. I read an interview with him where he was talking about some of his influences would be what you would expect for this type of thing. But then he included Norman Rockwell as an influence, a positive influence, and it was because Norman Rockwell was just such a great painter. I thought that was really an insightful comment for him to make. Gerald Brom. This book is about that quest for Chet to save his family, even though he's dead as a doornail. It's a really interesting tale. I have to tell you, might be a good introduction to his style of writing and his artwork if you haven't looked at any of Gerald Brom's books, published just under his name, Brom. And I will show you a picture of him, which will come popping up here in a minute, so you can take a look at what he looks like. Again, I know nothing about him except those basic facts that I mentioned. I like his style of writing. I like his books. I like his artwork. Very dark and gritty. What does that mean for a segment of my audience? Well, it means some of you aren't going to like it. Case in point, The Child Thief, which is fantastic, okay? The Child Thief is the Peter Pan mythology completely deconstructed and reimagined by Gerald Brom. And in such a way that it's just an incredible page turner. Take a look at his rendering of Peter here. And is it Peter Pan or just Peter? It's Peter Pan. Here is the witch and another woman named Siku who appear in here. And he illustrates every book. Here's the troll. Look at the troll. Isn't the troll cool? The rendering here is completely unique. There is nothing in this tale that is a direct copy of the Peter Pan, by Barry and all that. It is a reimagining of it with completely new characters, scenes, ideas, and so forth. It is just fantastic. 14-year-old Nick is ambushed in Brooklyn, New York, and by drug dealers, and Peter saves him. Peter takes him to another world, a dark and frightening island, which is populated by ghouls. And this is probably Brom's best book of the four I have. It is so unique and so original in its telling and very dark. This is a dark version of Peter and the Lost Boys. He delves into Peter's background, which was brutal. This is very much a book for adults and not children. And although teens could enjoy it too, and it gives you a completely different take on a very familiar story, the Peter Pan mythology that's out there. Now, I'm one of those that likes the original books by Barry, and I am a fan of Hook that Steven Spielberg directed with you-know-who as Peter Pan. Robin Williams as Peter Pan grown up. There is another, and that novelization, by the way, was written by Terry Brooks, I believe. Anyway, the Peter Pan mythology, the movies, the cartoons, we're familiar with this. Gerald Brom takes it to a whole new level. Captain Hook is simply referred to as the captain, and he gives background into this. He fleshes out the characters, realizes them completely, creates new characters, and tells the story of Peter and the Lost Boys unlike anything you've ever read. Very terse, stark imagery and prose. Very well done all the way around. This is probably my favorite Brom book. There's one other that I really like too. I like them all, so I'm recommending them. And since it's December, why not point out Krampus, Brom's take on you-know-who, which is as equally as frightening and riveting as anything he could write. This is a great book as well. Here is a look at the back on this one too. Look at these incredible, moody paintings and illustrations that he did for this. This is, and I'll have a scan of this coming up. This is the Krampus mythology, and in the back of this book, he talks about doing the research on Krampus, that mythology in Europe. What does that mean? And he did his own version. Again, Brom is an original. He doesn't copy and rewrite old folk tales or old stories with other characters that other people created. He takes them and he reimagines them in his own unique and riveting manner. Illustrated again with his own paintings and drawings throughout. Some of the plates are in color and some of them are in black and white. A lot of arcane symbolism in these books. So this is I don't know, I thought it was fascinating. I think everything Brom does is fascinating. Krampus is worth your time. And, let me do this. I want to read the blurb off the flyleaf, just to give you an idea here. Krampus, the Yule Lord. One Christmas Eve in a small hollow in Boone County, West Virginia, struggling songwriter Jesse Walker witnesses a strange spectacle. 7 devilish figures chasing a man in a red suit toward a sleigh and 8 reindeer. When the reindeer leap skyward, taking the sleigh, Devilman and Santa into the clouds, screams follow. Moments later, a large sack plummets to the earth. A magical sack that thrusts the down-on-his-luck singer into the clutches of the terrifying Yule Lord, Krampus. But the lines between good and evil become blurred as Jesse's new master reveals many dark secrets about the cherry-cheeked Santa Claus, including how, half a millennium ago, the jolly old saint imprisoned Krampus and usurped his magic. Now Santa's time is running short, for the Yule Lord is determined to have his retribution and reclaim Yuletide. If Jesse can survive this ancient feud, he might have the chance to redeem himself in his family's eyes, to save his own broken dreams, and to help bring the magic of Yule to the impoverished folk of Boone County. Wow. Wow is right. So here is a key issue in understanding Brom's books. The imagery is dark, the writing is dark, the circumstances are dark, often based on uncomfortable realities that we're all familiar with. And yet, there is a seeking of the light. Now, that should have some relevance for more than a few of you in my audience, those of you that have a faith that perhaps should be evident year-round, but even if it's only evident at Christmas, I think you would understand these books. It's going to take work. You need to be confident in what you're doing. So anyways, just to give you a flavor of the types of themes and ideas evident in a story by Gerald Brom, the writer and the artist. One more book, and I saved this one for last because this was the first of Brom's books that I read. It's called The Devil's Rose. It's a weird Western. Look at this beautiful cover coming up over here. Just incredible. It is exactly what you think it is. Just as all of these books, when you look at them, exactly what you think it is. This is a much shorter book, a different publisher, and his paintings in here are both color plates, and this one is profusely illustrated throughout. Color plates and sketches reproduced here. Look at her mesmerizing eyes, and actually, I think that looks more like his wife. A weird Western. What is this about? Well, it's about a guy named Cole, and he's gonna save the day. Okay, he has to. I took a note on it. He's sent by the fire demon to catch some souls that had escaped hell. I have not read this since. When was this published? I should reread this. Actually, I should reread Krampus for Christmas. This one goes back to 2007. Wow, this one goes back a ways. I just love this book. I like all of them. This one and The Child Thief are my two favorites. So, sorry, I put the books at my feet. I need to get perhaps a nightstand here for myself when I'm talking to you people about these very interesting books. There's demons, there's ghouls, there's gunfights. He doesn't ride a horse, he rides a motorcycle. And he's a rockin' dude, man. Really fantastic it's more of a short story than a novel. Look at this moody stuff. And very much, I don't know anything about Brom. I don't know what his feelings are about. Well, obviously he's interested in various aspects of religious imagery and mythological imagery, both good and bad, and he uses them to great effect as a storyteller, as a visual storyteller, and as a writer. Gerald Brom, The Devil's Rose. This was the first one. So there you have 4 unique books. Each of Brom's books is really a collector's item because of the artwork you find within. They come out in hardcover first. I believe they are released in paperback later. I don't know if this ever came out in paperback. I don't have any of his paperbacks. I don't have all of his books. He has quite a few more that I'd like to have. They're really expensive. Currently I think they can cost up to $30 for some of these. So let's just take a look at what I paid when they came out. Krampus cost me $27.99. So I don't think that was discounted either. I bought that in a bookstore. The Child Thief was $26.99. We're talking some big bucks on these books. And Lost Gods was $27.99. So these are really expensive books, but they're keepers for me. I do plan on getting some more. If I do, maybe I'll get 2 or 3 more and I'll do another episode. In the meantime, if you see these or if you're interested in this type of gritty fantasy with a touch of Frank Frazetta and other renowned artists, and great writing, great storytelling, great writing skill. I think that, so, like I said, there was an interview with him, and I think all he does is he paints and draws and he writes. That's what he does. I mean, good for him to have such immense talent. So, anyways, an introduction. If you're not familiar with Gerald Brom, you can find him under the name Brom on Amazon. I hope you find this interesting. And in the meantime, stay well, stay happy, feed your brain, and read a book.